You're listening to XVGM Radio. Welcome to XVGM Radio, where the bits keep coming. I'm Mike.
And I'm Justin.
And this is episode 55, Mega Man Fan Games with MEGAPHILX.
Hey!
Heyo! Today we are talking to someone from the Mega Man fan community. So, MEGAPHILX created a game called Mega Man Unlimited, and we're pleased to have him on the show. Not only did he create the game, but he also did some of the music as well. And we're going to be talking to him about his compositions as well as the game that he created and his background on Mega Man and everything. So, Phil, thanks so much for coming down.
Well, thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
Much appreciated. So, Justin, what song did we come in on?
So, that really catchy tune was from Mega Man Unlimited, which came out on the PC in 2013. The track was Starfield Disarray, the theme for Comet Woman, and this one was composed by MEGAPHILX. The game itself had a couple different composers. We see Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou, MEGAPHILX, which is our guest tonight, Philip Poulin, Thunder Thuin, also known as Yan Thuin, and Spider Gores.
Yeah, but this track specifically was composed by our guest of honor today,
yes.
Phil. So, Mega Man Unlimited, probably one of the most famous fan games for the Mega Man franchise. Of course, this is emulating the style and vibe of the 8-bit classic Mega Man games. I would say like 3, 4, 5, 6, like around that whole era of the classic Mega Man games. So when you were composing Comet Woman, what specific game or style influenced you the most on this track?
When I composed that one, I think it was Mega Man 9. It was Jewel Man stage that you can hear like tick 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 tick. The little
yes, yeah,
little sparkly sounds. That's exactly what it came from. I mean, that's the primary. Like I was using the tracker, and I was like, I wonder how we can do this Jewel effect. So yeah. I kind of looked it up a little bit. I tried a couple different things, and that's basically the main reason for this sound. But actually, that song, I came up with it before trying this. I came up with a bunch of different versions of it before I used this particular one.
Okay. Regarding the equipment that you were using for this, you said tracker. Is it FamiTracker that you were using?
Yeah, it's FamiTracker, yeah.
Okay. And did everybody use the same program or
Nope, not at all.
Oh, really?
Um,
That must have been interesting. So what was everyone else using? Do you know?
So Kevin has been using, I think he was using Fruity Loop Studio.
Oh, yeah, wow.
That's impressive.
But I don't know if he changed tool like for the music he does now, but I think he used Fruity Loop Studio for that particular soundtrack. But you know, I mean, his stuff sounds so good that it ends up blending pretty well with what I did.
Yeah,
So,
no, I agree. There's very little difference between the sound itself. I mean, they both sound like actual Mega Man game songs.
Yeah, but you know, personally, I think his music is way better than mine. I'm a bit of a guy that, you know, touches all kinds of things. I do art, I do video game, I do music. But I'm not like a super expert at any of them.
Yeah.
The thing I'm the best at is probably art. But with the music, I kind of dislike most of the songs that I made. And I think that Kevin's songs are way better than mine.
I know we did try to reach out through you to Kevin to bring him on as well, and he unfortunately declined the interview. I remember that because we've been talking about doing this for a while now.
Yeah, since end of last year?
Yeah, I think so. So Comet Woman is the character that's the stage that this plays in, the Starfield Disarray.
Yeah.
So this is the only female robot master, or is it robot mistress?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be mistress?
I've labeled her as Mistress of Space in the credits or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So I guess we could say Robot Mistress.
Okay, that works for me. So regarding Comet Woman, what was the design style like on her? Because I'm going to be honest, personally, I think Comet Woman is one of the best designs that you have for a robot master. It looks the most Mega Man-ish for the bosses.
Actually, it's I think like one morning I woke up and I was like, hey, what if I did like a Comet Man? And I'm like, oh, that could be cool. And I had like the idea of having like a green sort of color. And I got these ideas, like I think I just got the idea of the orbiting shots, like when I woke up some morning, I was dreaming about it or something, I don't know. But I woke up and I had this idea of having these rotating spheres that would like converge horizontally or vertically, and you would slide or jump depending on which one is doing it. And I was like, hey, that's a pretty cool idea.
Nice.
And basically the Comet, I was like, Comet Man, all right, cool, let's... And I think I looked up online and I looked if like Comet Man existed, and I'm like, I think it already existed, and I just decided, oh, maybe I should do Comet Woman. And that's basically how I came up with the concept. The character design, I had this idea of her hair being this jet engine or something.
Yeah.
So that's
like shoots out.
Yeah, so it's like
almost like a crazy 80s style haircut that like poofs out.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like metal, and it's like a comet, you know. So I think the color scheme and the visual aesthetic of the character works really well.
Thank you.
And this tune specifically really kind of resonates with Comet Woman. I get the vibes of the comets falling from the sky, the do 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 do, like and the beginning part where it's like like with all those crazy notes kind of going in the beginning. It to me it feels like either stars flying by or comets.
It's very now that I listen to it now, it's kind of it's dissonant, and I don't really like it, to be honest. But
I think this is one of your best on this soundtrack.
Well,
of the tracks that you did compose, I think this is one of your best.
I think the part, like, you know, the part just before it loops, I was really just experimenting in the tracker. I was doing I was and while I was having this track, I tried going like tick 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 at the same time.
Right.
And I think that's the part that sounded the best, in my opinion. But cool. So for that part of the song, it's the song is kind of, you just try things. And another funny thing is, like, when I was trying to come up with these songs, I didn't really have I didn't have Kevin to rely on. So I was trying to come up with melodies that were, catchy, but I think I'm not really that good at it. But basically, I would have this little portable recorder, and at random times, some idea came up, and I would record it. I would sing it in the thing, so that I don't forget it.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
So that recorder, like it was my dad who gave it to me as a Christmas present, I think, and I used it to come up with the ideas. And when I come back home and I listen to it, I'm like, it didn't always sound great. So basically, that's how I came up with most of the songs that I made.
That's really cool. That's exactly how I would do it if I was going to, because I am terrible at writing music personally, but like I love creating songs with that sort of aesthetic.
I don't really have
with the mouth.
I don't really have experience in music, and Kevin also doesn't have a music theory background. He's just a natural, from what I know about him.
Oh wow.
The experience that I have basically is when I was a kid, I had like 3 grades of piano classes. But ironically, I stopped taking the courses because I didn't really like practicing every night. My dad...
use that time towards Mega Man instead,
Yeah. But basically, my dad always reminds me of these... he keeps reminding me every time, like, do you remember when you were a kid, you were crying as you were playing the scales? I really didn't like doing the practice, piano practicing. I really didn't like that. But I've got some basic training from that, but that's it,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play the drums more, so now that I have like some money, I actually bought myself an electronic drum, and I practice that sometimes.
That's really
But
cool.
yeah, that's the extent of my music experience.
Awesome.
Good to know.
Well, you are answering questions before we ask them, and that's great, because that was a question I was going to ask you.
Is it great?
It is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're going to move on to our next track. This is from a different Mega Man fan game. So what we're doing is we're going through different Mega Man fan games, but Unlimited is our big focus. But we're going to move into Mega Man Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
And this came out on the PC in 2019. This track is called Missile Man, and it's by Juhani Junkala. Welcome back that was Mega Man Rock and Roll that came out on the PC in 2019. By the way, all these games came out on the PC only. This track was Missile Man, and it's by Juhani Junkala. So this game is awesome. To me, personally, it's probably second best to Unlimited. Like, Unlimited is, like, for me, Unlimited is the best. And then I'd say Rock and Roll is next. I'll fill in the blanks later with the
It's
with the
different.
rest of them.
Everyone
But-
has their favorites. It's different for everyone. It's
Yeah, no, absolutely. This game is really cool because it puts narrative at the forefront and kind of bakes it into the game. There's an intro stage where you're playing the game, and basically what's happening is all the robot masters are getting captured by this unknown robotic alien source. And nobody knows if it's Dr. Wily or if it's, some other, person or being. And so Mega Man goes out to stop this alien invasion. So you start off the level playing as Mega Man. And it looks and sounds and feels exactly like both Mega Man Unlimited in terms of the visual aesthetic and style, the design, and of course the original Mega Man games. There's a bunch of characters that you see as you're playing through it, and they're all getting captured. They're all like, different robot masters. And so then Mega Man gets captured, and all that's left is Dr. Light freaking out, like running back and forth in the little lab, like flipping out because Mega Man's captured. And then you've got Roll, who's just kind of like, what now? So she kind of gathers up her strength, and she says, you know what? Turn me into a mega girl or a mega woman sort of thing. So Dr. Light is kind of apprehensive at first, and all this is kind of interacted with like sprites. And then he turns Roll into Mega Roll or Mega Woman or whatever you want to call it. I think they just call her Roll in it. So she's got a really cool design, which is based on like some of the newer games where she's wearing like a hoodie or whatever, and that kind of transforms into her Mega Man style designed costume or robot armor. And so you play as her. She has a double jump and she has the spread shot
She
or
can't
whatever,
charge,
but
right?
she doesn't have the
Charge.
the Mega
Yeah.
Buster. Yeah, the charge shot. And I think she can slide as well, if I remember. You end up in the intro stage saving Mega Man, so then you could play as Mega Man or Roll. The intro stage just builds this really incredible narrative for the game and really sets you up and gets you excited to keep playing it. But anyways, tell me what you thought of this song.
So I thought it was really cool. I like how it has a really like old school NES type vibe to it. The thing that kind of gives it away is there's a lot of slides and bends in there, which you don't get really in NES music. But like aside from that, I really enjoyed how they tried to stick to like that classic Capcom NES sound font.
Those note bends you're talking about where it's like it kind of reminded me of what's that song?
Love in an
Tom
Elevator?
Sawyer.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. I was going Aerosmith.
Yeah, I like the
Very shreddy.
the really really fast.
It's almost like guitar shredding,
Yeah.
like triplet notes, like da-da-da, da-da-da.
It
Yeah.
escalates as the song progresses. It gets higher and higher.
Yeah, it's a shorter loop, but
Yeah, it's a pretty short song.
Yeah, it's pretty short, but it loops. It's so energetic that it really keeps you wanting to keep playing the level. Yeah. So regarding Mega Man and the series in general, what was your first exposure to the Mega Man series?
Jeez, I think it was Mega Man 2, like one of my friends, like probably my best friend when I was like, I don't know, 8-year-old. He just told me, like, next time you go to the video store, you should rent Mega Man 2, it's really good. Actually, I did that, and I didn't really like it back then.
Really?
That's the funny thing about Mega Man 2 was not, like, I didn't really like it as much, because I didn't have an NES back then.
Okay.
I was renting the console back then.
Wow.
We didn't have one yet. So I rent Mega Man 2, and I can't beat a single stage. And the first stage that I beat was Flashman.
Okay.
And then I get this weapon and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah.
It does nothing. And it empties
Just flashes
itself.
on the screen. Yeah.
It makes little stars everywhere and nothing happens and it all empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I didn't really manage to beat any other stage after that. So I was like, nah, I was really not convinced. But over the years after that, at his house he rented like Mega Man 3, and I looked at it. It was like pretty cool. I think I remember from Mega Man 2 watching my friends playing the Wily Castle, and I was very interested in it just because of the map you see. But the thing that really made me get in love with Mega Man was Mega Man 4. That's the game that really turned me into a super fan.
Yeah.
That's the game that made me like draw my own Robot Masters. I think that's the first game I bought.
Wow.
Like we rented it. I liked it so much that I asked my dad, who was like out of town, to pick it up for me when he came back.
4 has such a well-rounded list of Robot Masters. Like, that combined with the music and the really top-notch level design, it's hard. It's totally understandable that that's your favorite.
I didn't even know you could charge the Buster when I first played it.
All right,
Yes.
so yeah, love this song, really cool. Now the composer on this one is Juhani Junkala. He has a website, it's juhanijunkala.com, where he's got all of his various different projects that he's done. Looks like he's done a game called Aliyah Ludo, and then Biogun. There's a game that's in Steam Early Access, or at least it is labeled that way on his website, Ludoria. And let's see what else. We'll go with one more. A game called Heroes vs. Villains Rise of Nervo. So yeah, he still looks to be working on games and game music soundtracks as far as I can tell. All right, so Justin, we're going back to you. What do you got for your first pick?
So my pick is going back to the intro here. We're gonna go back to Mega Man Unlimited. As we said, came out on the PC in 2013. This is Explosive Artillery. This is the Tank Man theme, and this one looks like it was composed by a combination of Kevin and Jan.
Cool. Let's give it a listen.
Welcome back. That was Explosive Artillery, the Tankman theme from Mega Man Unlimited, the 2013 release on the PC, and that one composed by Kevin Phetsomphou and Jan Thuin, with soundtrack support by Spreader Gores and MEGAPHILX.
So this one, I really like the power chord. It feels like a that really stands out to me, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think any of the original Mega Man games, even going up to like 9 or 10 or whatever, had any kind of sound like that. It was just totally unique and different to the Mega Man soundtrack style. So Unlimited had that to offer, where it sounded very, unique.
My favorite part of it is the last part before the loop, when it ends with that high note, and at the same time you have the
yeah,
and at the same time you have that when in both together, it's the best part of it. It's like the climax of the song before it loops.
And that's such a key moment for a Mega Man song to have too. Like you need that awesome.
It's supposed to be your favorite part of the song.
Right. Because it's just, to me, it's always been about the melodies and the soaringness of a song, because that's just Mega Man 3 was the first Mega Man soundtrack that I ever heard, and in proxy of that, it was the first game soundtrack probably that I was like, I need to get this on like cassette or something, whatever
so you did
was
like
available. Yeah, because I was just so blown away. I think that's the first time with game music. Probably the only other example that early on were like Mario, Metroid, and Zelda. And then from there, it was like I'd get one-off games like, oh, Ninja Gaiden 2 or whatever. But like Mega Man 3 specifically was like up there with like, the very first moments of video game music that I heard that really resonated with me. So with that in mind, it was like, I need to hear more of this. I need to hear this over. Like, I can't get that 8-bit sound out of my head. That's why, like, when you hear, like, Mega Man 8, Mega Man 7, the songs sound, at least in my opinion, so much better in the 8-bit style. So Tankman, he's got a turret coming out of his back. He salutes. That's, like, the pose he does, is he salutes right before he starts attacking you. I almost get a Transformers vibe from him. Like, I feel like if he, like, sat down and, like, laid down, he could be an actual tank.
It's funny because, if it was really a more modern design, it would look more like an actual Transformer. It would look more modern, but the way he looks, I purposefully made him look exactly like the first drawing I did when I was, like, 11.
That's cool.
Nice.
But the way I designed it, it was really like some humanoid with tracks on his legs and a cannon on his back, and that's pretty much it. He has like a cannon, like an arm cannon. I purposefully kept that design because that's how I drew him when I was a kid. Because pretty much all the Robot Masters and Mega Man games come from a contest where kids set their own designs.
I think it was Mega Man
6.
It was 6, right?
But but actually they did it for all of them except the first one. I think starting from 2 in Japan, they were all from contests that they held. I think I'm like 80%.
I think you're right
sure.
about that. Yeah, I think you're right about that. That's really cool.
It's the mindset of a kid.
Yeah,
like the kid looked at something in his house and he was like, "Oh, that could be a robot." That's the idea.
Spatula Man needs to exist. Spatula Man.
No, he's too busy working at Spatula City.
That's true. Let's talk about Kevin and Jan.
Yeah, they are on Moby Games. Kevin only has audio credits for Mega Man Unlimited and quality assurance for Mega Man Unlimited, and Jan has 2 audio credits. He did music for the teaser trailer for Ninja Senki in 2010, and then obviously audio for Mega Man Unlimited 2013.
And Spreader Gores, I know, I don't think we're going to be talking about him because I don't think we picked any of his tracks. Was he similar to Yan, where he did like those initial first like rough drafts?
Basically, Jan did the Tankman theme, the weapon get theme, and the stage select theme back when I was just making a flash animation of Tankman's stage.
Okay.
Then Kevin did most of the music with me for the whole game. And Sprider Gores just, over the years I kept, reading comments from people about Unlimited and I keep reading comments that people like my tracks less than Kevin's. So I kind of grew a certain dislike for my own songs I was mentioning earlier. And I kept listening to, it just so happened that Sprider Gores made his own version of Comet Woman. So when I saw that, I really liked the version he did. And at some point when I made an update, way later, when I made another update, I asked him if it was okay if I take his version to replace my own. Basically, that's it. He also helped me with a couple of other songs that, like for example, Rainbow Man's theme is another similar story. I wanted to replace the song because I didn't really like it anymore. So around the same time, I told him do you think you could remake Rainbow Man's theme as well? And he was happy to do it.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
He just remade a couple of songs like that. Basically, that's what.
So the Comet Woman version that we heard though is your version.
That's my version.
Very cool. Let's move into our next track. This is from a game called Mega Man Eternal. This came out on the PC in 2014. This is Scorchman. And this one's also by Symphony Kev, or Kevin Phetsomphou. And there's a laundry list of other composers. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be honest, we're not really going to cover them at all. So, but we will talk about them after the song. Thanks for joining us back on our Mega Man fan game exciting expedition in podcastery. This is a track that we just heard from Mega Man Eternal. This came out on the PC in 2014, and this track was called Scorchman, and it's by Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou, who also was on Mega Man Unlimited. I'm just going to read off the rest of the quote-unquote composers that are on the Mega Man fan page. So we have Phetsomphou fan, I think that's how you pronounce it, XX by XX, Jasper Valentine 8909, PSN 8-bit, Gaming Cakes, Hertz Devil, Warheart, L77, Mend, Dan Oct 1, and Omega Man ZX. So lots of composers on this, but this specific tune was done by Kevin.
This one was really cool. I got kind of like a Latin vibe early on, right? Like there's this thing that almost reminds me of like Rhythm of the Night.
I totally hear that.
Yeah, and then it changes up, and then it changes up again. But the one thing that's actually pretty consistent that I feel is it's like very poppy throughout. Like I feel like this is a very poppy song, and I enjoy it. Like you don't hear poppy Mega Man songs aside from like a few bangers.
My favorite part for me is the intro.
Yes.
Yes, you can't help but feel like pumped up when it starts like that.
It's interesting because you both are coming at this in two different musical genres, but I agree with both of them. And I think that's just like the incredible power of the sound chip on the NES, because it had the ability to pretty much make any song that you wanted to hear. You could, hear anything out of it. So Justin mentioned Latin vibe, and I totally get that. I get that like I get that like almost like salsa cha-cha kind of like
yeah.
But I also get the chugginess behind it, like with the riffage, like I hear the metal in that too. So I agree with both of you. I think that both of those genres meld really well together here in this track, and my favorite part, at least personally for me, is the part after that kind of crazy intro. Yeah. Specifically the part where it's like because you've got the different like higher octaves that kind of come in too. Mm-hmm. That final part right before the loop where it's like and you get the note bends. That's like classic Mega Man music that you want to hear, and as you were saying, Phil, earlier, that's the part of the song that like is quote unquote everyone's favorite, like towards the end, right before the loop. And with this track specifically, I agree with that.
Either the part right before the loop, or you are looking forward to hear the start again.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So this game is a tough cookie. Not so much in the sense that it's difficult because it's a well-designed game. And of course, this is, I guess, up for speculation. But personally, my biggest issue was I couldn't get past the initial first stage. This version of Mega Man, it just wasn't tight enough as far as the controls. I never really felt like I had control of him. And I just kept dying and dying and dying. And, I'm a Mega Man
super fan.
Super fan, or, I've been playing these games for God knows how long. And I know how Mega Man plays. And this one, just for whatever reason, I think it just needed a little bit more time in the oven, or maybe, they needed additional help.
For me, the main thing is that when he gets hit, he stops. I mean, it's supposed to be knocked back, but in this case, I think his iframes, invincibility frames, for those who don't know what that means. After he gets hit, he doesn't stay invincible as long. And every time he gets hit, he stops. And when you get that, when you can move again, basically you're vulnerable right away again. So you would get stun locked a lot in this game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to trash the game too much, but I it's just personally I couldn't get very far in it. But yeah, I really love this song, and Kevin did a great job with it. And I really need to just download the soundtrack. This is going to be more of a soundtrack delivery system, if you will, than a experience that I want to.
If you go on Kevin's channel, in his really old videos, you have still most of these songs are still there, but they're not named after the robot master that is using the song in the game. because Kevin made a bunch of different stage songs that were not supposed to be matched with any Robot Master at that time. And so some people use them for their own games, or they're kind of generic songs. They don't sound obviously they don't sound generic, but they were not made with Scorchman in particular in mind. Well, maybe not for this one, I'm not sure, but there was some song like that there's just called Stage Number 12. So it's a stage song. It's the 12th that he made.
Okay.
So some of these songs were reused in some games, and then he asked the guy asked permission from Kevin to use the song in his game.
Oh, okay.
Some of these songs are like that.
Right. All right, so Justin, you have a pick coming up next. What do you got for us?
All right, so I am staying where I was last time. We're going to hear another Mega Man Unlimited song. This is going to be Climb the Walls, Occupied Wily Fortress Stage 1, and this one was one that was done by our guest of the evening, MEGAPHILX.
Yeah.
So let's give that a listen. Back to XVGM Radio's Mega Man fan game Spotlight. That was Mega Man Unlimited, came out on the PC in 2013. Climb the Walls, also known as the Occupied Wily Fortress Stage 1, was the name of that track, and that was composed by our guest today, Mr. MEGAPHILX. Thank you for that. I have to say, so just out of the gate, out of all the tracks we've heard so far on this podcast, this one to me sounds the most like a traditional Mega Man song. Like a lot of the other ones had little elements here and there. Some things were obviously doing more than what the NES processor could have done and whatnot, but this one I feel like it had the sound font, it had the feel, it had the beat. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, but to me this so far has felt like the most Mega Man song.
I can agree with that. Yeah. other than bits and pieces of some of Kevin's songs, particularly when he's doing the higher octaves with the dual octaves with one part, the harmonies, the harmonized sounds, and then you've got those note bends. Kevin's kind of a master at doing those elements of Mega Man music. But yeah, this song I get a very like an earlier Mega Man vibe, like Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 1. Specifically with the intro, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like that whole part right there it really reminds me of something that I'd hear in like a Wily level for like Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 1.
Yeah, the idea was to have something kind of like Wily 1 and Mega Man 2. You know, the that beat has been like reused so much, like in some fan versions of certain songs from like the X games, or certain like ROM hacks have used like versions of X2 or whatever songs, but they always have that. It's like it's pretty much the one thing it sounds Mega Man 2 so much.
So this game took you about 5 years to finish, where it was able to be released, is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
And what would you say was the reason why you started Mega Man Unlimited to create it? What kind of led you down the path of game creation in general? What, did you always know you wanted to make a Mega Man game first, or because I know you were saying you were also in the games industry? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my history is mostly, so I studied art, and then I went into cartoon animation, like traditional animation.
Okay.
But then I didn't go to college.
Art school or college.
Yeah,
right?
so and after that I wanted to work in animation, but then I realized that I would prefer drawing for fun than working in that field. So I tried to go in games, because I really liked making, my own levels in StarCraft or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got lucky enough to start working at Behavior Interactive, and I worked there for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And when I started, Mega Man Unlimited was released like a couple months after a layoff that I was affected by.
Oh, wow.
So while I was working there, at some point I decided to start on Unlimited. The story for that is that Mega Man 9 had just came out, and I was really into Mega Man because of Mega Man 9 I was really like hyped. And I was on the Capcom forums a lot. They were having these press kits that they made for Mega Man 9. They kind of made the bad box art of Mega Man 9.
Oh, yes.
And they made they made real cardboard, they made real boxes of games with a real cartridge with the same art on it, as if it was like Mega Man 1, but in the box and everything.
Yeah, and I remember that, yeah.
They sent those to the press, and they had like extra ones, and they were doing like these, they were saying like on the forums, like, show us how much you love Mega Man, and maybe we'll give one of the press kits to some of you guys. So I started like doing a bunch of crazy things, and one of them was taking my old designs from when I was a kid, and I redrew them because I was a lot better at drawing at that point, so I redrew them.
Oh, that's cool.
And I shared the images on the forums and everything. Sometime after that, I was really motivated, like I said, so I started making a flash animation of what Tankman's stage would be. It was all animated in Flash. It was basically like fake gameplay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I did the same thing for Rainbow Man's stage, and the videos got really popular on YouTube. And some people, Star Sims Universe and N64 Mario, contacted me, and we started talking about what we could do, and from one thing led to another, and basically before that I always kind of dodged the idea of trying to do an actual game, because after working in games I was like, oh, it's really hard making a video game. It's gonna take a long time. So because of these two guys, I was like, maybe I can actually try to make a game out of this. So that's how it started.
That's really cool.
So for a while, I worked with these two guys to make the game, and it was made in Multimedia Fusion 2, which was kind of like a game maker software. And N64 Mario was doing like the programming of that. But at some point, it was kind of progressing slowly, and nothing was happening, and Gabriel Leblanc, my ex-colleague at Behavior, proposed to me the idea of taking over the development with his own engine. After asking N64 Mario, then we moved on to this engine, and this is basically the engine you see today. So that's how it started.
That's really cool. All right, so we've certainly got more questions to ask, but I figured we could move into my next track, and we've got some stories to tell about this one. This is Mega Man Unlimited, so we're going to continue with the Mega Man Unlimited tracks. This is Frenzied Superheat, also known as Trinitro Man, and it's by Symphony Kev specifically, Kevin Phetsomphou, and again, sound support by MEGAPHILX, Thunder Thoen, and Spriter Gores.
All the hits.
All the bits.
XVGM Radio.
Thanks for joining us back on our Mega Man Unlimited and more episode. We are talking about Mega Man fan games, and this is one of my favorite tracks on Mega Man Unlimited soundtrack, which came out in 2013 on the PC. This was Frenzied Superheat, also known as Trinitro Man, and it's by Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou, and again, the rest of the soundtrack by MEGAPHILX, Thunder Thoen, and Spriter Gores. I love this song. Yeah, the rest of the track, especially in the beginning, is really kind of all over the place. It's got this very chuggy. So I hear that, but like the thing that really kind of drives me bananas in a good way is that drum breakdown. Where it's like those very like pronounced like cymbal crashes, and then that kicks off into higher beats per minute with the drumming, and the music kind of follows. The beats per minute go way up, and you get this crazy keyboard run, and just those notes being sustained and bent right after that. That whole part is just super high energy and really fun to listen to. But then the track kind of falters a little bit towards the end for me. So it's like you have this huge crescendo kind of coming in, and it's like rising action, and then the falling action is so swift when it's like that dun 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 dun, and it's so much slower, and it definitely feels like waves. The whole song feels like waves where like something crazy's happening, and then it happens, and then it goes down and nothing crazy happens. And then the song restarts. So that's kind of how I felt about
it's kind of
that
like
middle
explosions.
Yeah, like that middle section is just so overwhelmingly more powerful than the rest of the song that it just like it's all I think about when I want to listen to the song. I just want to hear that part over and over again.
When Kevin made this song, he asked me like what my instructions were. I told him like do like Solar Man in Mega Man 10. So that was the idea.
Very cool. That's such an underrated song too. One of the best on 10.
That's Solar Man.
Yeah. What's interesting about this game is that you were developing this game in the middle, in between Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 coming out.
Yeah, I started, like I told earlier, I started after Mega Man 9.
Right. So, from what I understand, you have a story about Tri-Nitro Man, is that right?
Yeah. The reason why it's called Tri-Nitro Man is because when Mega Man 10 was revealed, my Robot Master was called Nitro Man. And we found out that Mega Man 10 had a Nitro Man.
Whoops.
So I was wondering, like, what should I do now? So I think at that point I made a video on my YouTube channel asking for people's opinions. In the end, we just decided to change his name a little bit. And, well, I say we, but it's pretty much I decided. Because at that point, yeah, I think Star Sims Universe and N64 Mario gave me their opinion as well. And basically, we just decided to keep him and change the name. And I picked Tri-Nitro because TNT.
Right,
basically.
right.
Yes.
That's
yeah. And that
that's
really
where it
does
comes from.
fit. And I think that the song really kind of brings out the intensity of the character too. So, if I recall, wasn't there some sort of story about you going to Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the story, and it's a really interesting story. So, if you can, give us some insight in regards to this.
That's really something. So, back then, I was calling the game Mega Man 10 because I didn't really think there was ever going to be a Mega Man 10. So I had like uploaded to my DeviantArt a bunch of images and screenshots and stuff like that, and I had like the logo Mega Man 10, and I had the screenshots from all the different levels that I had made the assets of at that point. So now comes Mega Man 10, the real one. We find out that the official website of Mega Man 10 has some of my assets. Like the background from the screenshot of Comet Woman stage was the main background of the website.
Oh man.
The frames of all the items on the web page were like the frame from each stage select portrait. They had like the outline of the portraits was reused on the website. A bunch of things like that were used on the website. So I was all excited. I was like, what's happening? So out of nowhere, I didn't really do anything. Out of nowhere, Seth Killian, who was the community manager of Capcom at that time, contacted me, and he said like he was aware of the situation and everything. And basically what he told me is he asked me to choose between two things. Either they would remove my asset from the website and apologize, or they would just keep the assets there and they would like compensate me in some way. So I choose the second option.
Sure, yeah.
And basically at that point he came back to me later about what they would do. Essentially what they did is that they invited me to Captivate, which is like a press event, like a Capcom con. It's mostly a press related, but they sometimes have like a couple of super fans. So I was one of them, and basically the trip to Hawaii, the hotel and meals and everything were paid for.
That's awesome.
My wife came, but she had to pay for her own stuff because it was already paid for. So yeah, I got to spend 2 or 3 days there, and it was around the time where they released like Super Street Fighter 4 and Dead Rising 2.
Okay.
So I got to see like the trailers and the little press conferences they made. That's where I got my cartridge of Mega Man 1 signed by Keiji Inafune. I felt a bit depressed to not be working at Capcom after that, but you know.
Right. You got a taste of it.
I didn't really have a demo to show, so I just went there and I talked with people, talked with other fans.
Yeah. Okay, so this was probably like 2008, 2009?
2010.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It was really exciting. It was an interesting experience, and I took pictures. And
That Capcom story is a good segue into our next track, as this is a fan game that got turned into an official game, I believe, in a way.
Street Fighter Cross Mega Man.
Yeah, Street Fighter X Mega Man. This came out on Windows in 2012. The track we're going to listen to is Ryu Stage, and it was composed by Luke Esquivel, aka A Rival. That was Street Fighter X Mega Man, or Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, or whatever else you want to call that. That came out on the PC in 2012, and that was Ryu Stage, as composed by Luke Esquivel, aka A-Rival.
Yeah, he's a OCR community guy for OC Remix, yeah.
Absolutely. This was fantastic. It felt right on so many levels, both for the feel of the song as it would fit in like a Mega Man universe, and it also sort of has a bit of a Street Fighter vibe to it, which I thought was really cool. Something else that a lot of the Mega Man music that I like, particularly stuff from like Mega Man 3, has this echo effect in it, and it didn't hit me until I heard the song and I was like, oh, that echo.
Yeah, this a lot of the music in this game takes basically the Street Fighter stage character that you're fighting against and makes it 8-bit, essentially, with a little bit of Mega Man flourishes. So in this track in particular, you had Flashman's theme with the like you had the that echo definitely present, but I got strong Flashman vibes from Mega Man 2 with the beginning, especially because it goes into Ryu's theme very quickly, but at the same time, if you played the first like few seconds from both Flashman and this, in both cases you'd be like, oh sweet, Flashman song, you know.
Yeah,
it's my, you take my favorite Robot Master song from 2 and like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Flashman's my favorite one from 2, so when I heard that one I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect for a Ryu song. It fits right in
I
there.
agree. No, it's a good clash of different styles and sounds into one game soundtrack. Yeah, this one's interesting because it celebrates the Street Fighter 25th anniversary at the time, I think it was, or 20th anniversary. So, to me, this always felt more like a Street Fighter game than a Mega Man game, not in the sense of how it played, because it obviously plays like a Mega Man game, but I feel like it's more like this is an 8-bit Mega Man game that has everything to do with Street Fighter. Like, it didn't have anything to do with Mega Man and Mega Man's universe.
That's always how I felt.
Yeah. And it's funny because everyone was like, oh, we're going to celebrate Mega Man's anniversary too. And it was like, well, okay, but this isn't really celebrating Mega Man other than just throwing him in an 8-bit game and
this came out at a time where Mega Man fans were pretty pissed off.
Oh yeah, we had felt for a while that Capcom just hadn't really done anything. They hadn't really cared. Like,
they canceled a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they canceled the was it Mega Man Legends 3 on the DS.
So they canceled Mega Man Universe. They canceled Legends 3, and they also like threw Mega Man's character in quote unquote Fat Mega Man from Mega Man 1's box art. And they put him in Street Fighter X Tekken.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And
that was really a bad timing.
It was such a bad timing because it's like, wow, really, this is what you're going to do with it? And then, like, not only that, but, like, Capcom was basically licensing Mega Man out. I think they even came out with a Mega Man X mobile game that was just, like, really terrible as well. So it's like...
Mega Man X Over.
Yeah, it was not good. So they...
Great title.
I think the biggest thing is they had no sense of direction of what they wanted to do with the franchise, because when Keiji Inafune left Capcom, you know, then he went and did Mighty No. 9, which we all know how that kind of turned out. You know, the game itself, say what you will, the game is not bad. If you actually sit down and play it, it's okay. But it's just not Mega Man. And I remember the Kickstarter and seeing that and being like, I'm not going to fund this. I was like, I like Keiji Inafune and everything, but and I like his art, but I got a vibe that it wasn't going to be what I wanted, and that I just wanted a Mega Man game. Then the series got a new producer, and then they really started to turn things around. They started working on all those legacy collections and everything, but then really what turned it around was Mega Man 11.
Very recently, yeah.
Yeah. I don't see that much of a difference between Mega Man Unlimited and Street Fighter X Mega Man, in the sense that, you know, why choose one over the other? Like, why didn't they choose Mega Man Unlimited instead of Street Fighter X Mega Man? And that's always something I've wondered after playing Mega Man Unlimited.
I have my own theory.
Okay.
But, well, one, I didn't really make any steps to get them to look at the game. I mean, I talked a little bit about it, like at the Captivate, but I didn't really have anything at that time to show. I was just wanted to make my own thing. My theory is that they went with that one because it doesn't really have any original characters. Because if they had any original characters in them, they would have to pay the guy for his designs.
Right.
And in Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, well, it's Capcom's characters. They don't really care about the little small enemies because they're not really important. But all the characters are like Street Fighter characters and Mega Man characters. They haven't made their own robot masters. I think they want to avoid the legal aspect when they want to avoid having to pay for these designs and making them their own.
Yeah, that's true.
That actually
because they owned. It does, because they owned Street Fighter and they owned Mega Man. So
yeah, and the game was free too.
Yeah,
I think it was like a PR move that they decided to make kind of at the last minute, and they didn't want to put any more budget into it.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's my theory, at least.
Yeah, that's a pretty good theory.
Yeah, best one I've heard. Really quick, because there's not a lot here, Luke Esquivel does have some credits listed on Moby Games. So their first was a special thanks in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix in 2008, and then they did the music for Street Fighter Cross Mega Man in 2012, and then Ultionus, A Tale of Petty Revenge in 2013, they did the ending song.
All right, so we're going to move into Mega Man Rock Force. This came out on the PC in 2013. And believe it or not, this is Fuse Man's theme. Again, kind of foreseeing into the future with Mega Man 11, which also had a Fuse Man.
It's hard to choose something that's not used already.
I know. So we'll talk about that after the break. This was composed by Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou. I have a credit for Goldwater DLS, but they're the developer/composer, so we'll get more into it after the break. That was Mega Man Rock Force that came out on the PC in 2013. That was Fuse Man, not Mega Man 11's Fuse Man, but Mega Man Rock Force's Fuse Man. And this track is by Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou, and Goldwater DLS, who is the developer. I think this track was done specifically by Kevin. I don't know the level of which Goldwater DLS was involved. I know you're kind of in the Mega Man fandom scene a little bit more than I am, of course. So maybe you know possibly what he did?
I think Goldwater DLS picked a song that Kevin had already made and used it for Fuse Man. I think he did that for most of the Robot Masters, but I don't know all the details, but I know that more than one of them he did that. So that's what I think.
Gotcha. Okay. So what do you guys think of this one?
Again, the drums were what I was sort of first drawn to in this one, which is not my normal, VGM first draw. I usually gravitate towards like bass and stuff like that. But the drums were really cool, and particularly with like that horse gallop thing that they kept doing. I feel like you could have just had coconuts and the Monty Python guys, but no, it was really cool, and I really enjoyed that.
For me personally, it's not my favorite in the game. I have other songs I prefer in that game, but I'll let you comment on it because you said something earlier that really stuck with me. But I want to let you, Mike, comment on it first.
Yeah, it sounded very Russian to me at points.
Man, I can't get that out of my head now that you said that.
It kind of throws me back to Mega Man 4's Dr. Cossack stage, stage 1, where it had that kind of USSR / Soviet Union / Russian vibe to it. And I don't know what it is about the song that does that. I don't know if it's like the instrumentation that kind of makes it sound that way, but to me at least, you've got those woodman drums, which I really love in the beginning. The do, like those really thick woodman drums, but then you've got this melody in the background that's kind of sad sounding.
Yeah, it's sad, yeah. That's probably why I don't like it that as much.
Yeah. It's not an uplifting track. It's more of a serious track. It's more of like a...
Yeah.
And what's interesting is Fuse Man in Mega Man 11's song is kind of similar in a lot of ways, at least in terms of tone. Not necessarily the Russian thing, but that song to me is more of a serious song. The da-na-na-na-da-da-na-da-na-da-na-na. It's got this very like serious feeling to it, especially the gameplay itself. You've got the lightning crackling in the background, the dark skies. It's a very ominous level, and the music just kind of adds to that. So before we get to our next track, we have picked our favorite official Mega Man games in the order that we prefer them in. So not necessarily soundtrack, but just like overall. So we're going to let our guest go first. Phil, what's your list? Mega Man 1 through 11. Rank them best to worst.
So for me, it's 4, 11,
Oh, wow.
6, 9, and then 7, 3, 8, 2, 10, 1, and 5.
Wow. So 5 is your least favorite.
Man, it's incredibly hard for me to it's like I like them all. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
But for me, like the most difficult for me to rate is 4 and 11 because 4 has always been my favorite in the classic series.
Sure.
But when 11 came along, I was like, man, this is pretty good. Like, which one is the best?
Yeah, I do really like 11, but I want to hear Justin's. Justin, what's yours?
So I have to, I guess, come clean about the fact that there are a number of Mega Man games that I just don't have any experience with, that I haven't played or whatever.
Okay.
And those are 5, 6, 8, and 11. I haven't played 11 yet, and I really want to get to it. It's on my list. I don't know about these other games. From the games that I have played in some way, shape, or form, so I have not finished 7, 9, or 10, but I do rank them because I do like them in some way. Top is 3, and then 2, and then 4, then 1, 9, 10, and then 7. I really didn't like 7.
I hear you on that. So my ranking is 3 is the best.
I knew it.
But by far. No spoilers there. 4, 6, and then I'm going to say 9. I'm working off of this list off of memory for the record. And then I'm going to say these 3 are kind of interchangeable, but 10, 2, and 11. And then I'm going to say 8, 5, 7, and 1.
Oh, you really don't like 1? Well, yeah. 1
was, to me, 1 was the blueprints. Yeah. I really don't like 7. I would say 7's probably my least favorite now that I think about it, because I do still somewhat enjoy playing 1. I think it's just the blueprints, so I kind of excuse a lot of it. The music's really good in 1.
It has its problems.
It does, and it's a little bit slower. But yeah, that's
cool. Cool. Well, I think we can all agree that Mega Man rocks, and that brings us to our next track.
Oh, perfect segue, Justin.
Yeah, I'm
Super
just finding the segues today. So the game is Mega Man Rocks. It came out in 2009 on PC. The track is called Hitman and was composed by Eric Ruth.
Hit it.
Welcome back, dear listeners. That was Mega Man Rocks with an exclamation point. Came out on PC machines in 2009. The track was Hitman and the composer was Eric Ruth.
I think that's like one of the first Mega Man fan games I ever saw.
Mega Man Rocks,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty early. Yeah.
It's pretty old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 11 years old.
This one I did not play. I think I had difficulty trying to find it, or I tried to play it and I don't think I was able to download it. I think Eric's website is down or shut down or something like that. If I
Oh yeah, this one might be difficult to get. Yeah, I actually had the same problem when I was trying to get some of the music. I think the music might have been there, but I couldn't get the game.
So I have no basis to go off of with this, but Phil, you played this one back in the day?
Yeah, I don't remember. Did I beat it? I don't remember. But I probably still have it somewhere. But I don't think it's very good, personally.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What do you think of this track?
Well, the track is nice. I like the energy of it.
Yeah, it's got a kind of a, I want to say, like a swimming vibe. I almost get like some sort of a weird mix between what Waveman's song should have sounded like and Dive Man.
Well, for me, it sounds a little bit chaotic. It sounds like you don't know where the danger is coming from, so you're always looking in every direction. That's what the song felt like to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Makes sense.
And the fact that it's because it's Hitman. So, you know, he could come out of nowhere, he can come from any direction and shoot you. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the vibe that I got from this, is sneaky, like a James Bond kind of da na 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 da 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 da. That's kind of the vibe that I think they were going for.
Yeah, I would agree. It definitely has a lot of those aspects to it, and it didn't really occur to me on the first couple times I listened to it. But now that you say that, I can totally see this as more of a like Hitman or Spy theme song.
Yeah. So the composer Eric Ruth is also the developer. What do we know about him?
So
I
Eric,
don't know much.
Moby Games has a list of things. He's been involved in quality assurance, audio, art, programming, design. As far as the audio credits go, their first credit here is The Angry Video Game Nerd, The Angry Video Game. In 2008, he is credited as musicked by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then Mega Man Rocks in 2009. Pixel Force, Left 4 Dead in 2010, did music and sound effects. Team Fortress Arcade in 2011 did original music and sound effects. And then finally, Pixel Force Halo in 2011 did music and sound effects.
Okay, then.
Yeah. So, those are all games that were released under his Eric Ruth Games label,
Right,
brand.
his website. Yeah.
I think what he says in the game itself, I think the game is about himself or something. It's like a project that he made, and he didn't know how to code certain parts of the game, so it's kind of while the game is a bit faulty in some areas. So I think it was just a little project that he went with.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right, so my last pick of this episode is going to be Mega Man Unlimited, and this, again, is our game of the day that we're talking about with the composer, or one of the composers, MEGAPHILX. The track is An Unbreakable Will, also known as Wily Fortress Stage 2. I want to make fun of myself a little bit. I put Willy Fortress Stage instead of Wily.
Oh, I wish I'd caught that.
Go me. Oh, yeah. No, you could have totally railed me, so I'll just rail myself on that one. This was composed by Symphony Kev, also known as Kevin Phetsomphou, with the rest of the soundtrack by MEGAPHILX, Thunder Thoen, and Spriter Gores. Welcome back to XVGM Radio. That was my final pick of this episode, Mega Man Unlimited. This was the 2013 PC release. This track, An Unbreakable Will, also known as Wily Fortress Stage 2. And it's by Symphony Kev, with sound support for other tracks by MEGAPHILX, Thunder Thoen, and Spriter Gores. I gotta say, while I really like the first part of this song, it has like kind of a dangerous vibe to it, like something's gonna happen or something's coming. But the part where it kind of evens out and becomes really super fun and happy for me was the part where it's like da na 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 da 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 da.
Yeah.
That whole section and everything leading up to the highest crescendo on that is just so good. So very good. It's got the note bends of the Mega Man games soundtracks from, their classic soundtracks. It has the harmonized dual octave melodies that are kind of flowing through it. It's the best part of the song for sure. It might even be one of the best segments in the entire soundtrack. But that's just me.
Part of the song gave me very much of a traveling vibe, and then the more I kind of thought about it or listened to it, the more, I don't know, it didn't quite feel like a Wily Fortress stage. I almost get more of a credits roll. Like, it still feels like a Mega Man song, to be fair, but I don't know, and maybe it's just me and my somewhat limited history of Mega Man. Like I said, I have not played every single one, so there is plenty of music that I'm missing out on. I have all the Mega Man game music, but I don't know everything intrinsically because I know the stuff that I've played better. But yeah, that's just the feeling that I get.
This song was kind of an exception compared to some of the others, is that this one was made when the stage was already pretty advanced, if I remember right. In this stage, it's a water stage, so in the background you see all these pipes that are like diagonal and crossing each other. In the animation, I made it so that there's little drops, water drops from each pipe that fall and hit another pipe below, and it's like a loop of just little drops. And that's what that's what it reminds me of, and it's probably where it comes from as well, because Kevin, I think if I remember, I sent him a video of the stage so that he can see it, what it looks like, because at that point we didn't have a song for that stage, and I was using another of his old songs instead, and then he wanted to make one for the stage, and we already had an idea of what it looked like, so I think that helped a lot when he made it. Of course, I can't speak for him, but if I remember right, because it's pretty old, that's that's what's behind this.
That's really cool. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So if you could put anything, and I mean anything, into Mega Man Unlimited 2, what would that be? What would be something specific that you would put in? It could be anything you want.
Whoa, it's kind of let's say that I would have someone to help me program, because some parts I'm not sure I would be up to it, but it would probably be another playable character. Well, I don't know if you've seen in the first Unlimited, there's a secret character.
Yes, Whirlpool Man, right?
No, I mean playable character.
Oh, playable character. No, I didn't know that.
If you beat the game on normal or instant death, you will unlock a playable version of the final boss.
Oh, okay. You know what? It's been a really long... I did beat Mega Man Unlimited for when I reviewed it, and I may have mentioned that in the review. I can't remember, but I think I did say that there were a bunch of unlockables in the game afterwards to kind of keep you coming back.
Well, this one was not in the original version, but basically you can play as this overpowered character and blast through everything. But basically what I would do, I have some ideas for another playable character for the second one, but I want to just do the game first.
Yeah,
that's fair.
for sure.
But actually, I did talk about the playable cutter, but I have another idea for a mechanic, kind of like the speed gear and the power gear in Mega Man 11.
Yeah.
I had some idea about a similar system, but not slow and not slow down and power up versions of you, but something about collecting health and weapon energy when you're already full and playing with that. But
kind of like in the X games where like you collect health power-ups into your E-tanks.
Yeah, but
So,
they
like, fill 'em up.
would have another effect than
Oh, like overcharge?
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very neat.
But I won't go into details. But
Fair enough.
I had an idea about doing a little twist to make the game different than all the other Mega Man games. But I haven't really done anything about it yet.
Cool.
It's just an
All right.
idea.
So, Justin, you're going to close us out. What do you got for us?
So this one is from a fan game called Mega Man Super Fighting Robot, which is weird because usually those go the other way, right? It's Super Fighting Robot, Mega Man.
You go. You can't. Yeah, you can't say those words in that order without saying Mega Man at the end and also singing it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The name of the game is swapped around. So either way, the game is Mega Man Super Fighting Robot. This is a 2015 PC release. The track is Coal Man and was composed by an artist known as Threx. And there were a number of other folks on the soundtrack. We'll talk about them when we come back. Welcome back from the last track of the episode. That was Mega Man Super Fighting Robot. Came out on PC machines in 2015, and that was Threx's track Coal Man. Also on the soundtrack, we have music composed by Mr. Weird Guy, who also created the game, Red Bloopy, Shy Wolf, Destiny Gear X, and Death Row.
This game, I wasn't able to get access to it, so I don't remember what the reason was, but I remember having difficulty trying to track it down or download it or whatever. But I was digging this track. I just don't have any affiliation for what it is, but I was enjoying it for the most part.
Yeah. I also did not get a chance to play this, so I guess we won't really have a whole lot to talk about as far as game feel goes. But yeah, no, I really just kind of dug the overall feel of this one. This track felt different than a lot of the other stuff that we've had on tonight's episode. It just kind of hit a little bit differently, but I like it. Kind of like I'm bringing things, down at the end with the last track like I'm supposed to.
To me, it felt like I don't know much either about Super Fighting Robot. I played a little bit, but not enough to really know what I'm talking about. But the song just sounds like a tough guy, like Impact Man in 11 or something. There's some kind of construction, not necessarily big guy, but some like serious,
Strong, serious,
strong.
character.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe this is a fan game that is homaging the cartoon in terms of the actual plot and gameplay, right?
I'm pretty sure. I think that's why it's Super Fighting Robot, because that was the theme song to the cartoon.
Yeah, that cartoon was something, man.
Yeah, on the title screen of this game, I remember the song is the theme of the cartoon, but in an 8-bit.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
So that's the main thing I remember about it, actually. I barely played it, but I've heard that it was pretty good.
The composer on this was Threx. Do we know anything about him?
So I was not able to find anything on Moby Games, but perhaps Phil?
I don't want to say anything. I don't know enough.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
So I don't want to say anything that might be wrong.
Okay. All right, so this is the time of the episode where we pick our favorite tracks. It's going to be tough to do because there's a lot of really good stuff. I'm going to let Phil go first since he's the guest of honor. So, Phil, what's your favorite pick of the night?
For me, it's An Unbreakable Will, Stage 2 from Unlimited.
Nice.
It's a great track, yeah.
For me, it represents, I remember that when I listened to it, when Kevin sent it to me, I was really like, wow, man, this is really great for a Wily 2. I was really, really hyped. I listened to it like over and over again, and I'm like, oh god, we've got such great music for this game, and I'm... That's not that the other ones are like. I would probably also choose Tri-Nitro Man's theme, but for me the Wily stages, like we did them last, so it's more emotional for me when we talk about the near end game, because it was the most it was the closest to the end, so it's the one that affects me more emotionally.
Fair enough.
So to me, the song brings back memories of the final development phase.
Final push, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great feeling when you get to this stage.
Nice.
Justin?
So, I currently torn between the Street Fighter X Mega Man Ryu stage and the Mega Man Unlimited Climb the Walls, the Occupied Wily Fortress Stage 1. Those both felt the most like Mega Man to me. I mean, the Mega Man Rocks track as well with some of it, but I think I'm going to go with Ryu stage as top pick, and then Climb the Walls, and then I think that Tri-Nitro Man as well. Like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm going to also echo Tri-Nitro Man. Just that crazy solo and the drum kick in and just everything really top notch. I'm also going to give it up for Mega Man Rock and Roll. I think that it's got a great soundtrack as well. So the Missile Man track was those two were like my two top favorites. So we want to thank MEGAPHILX for coming on the show, talking some Mega Man fan game with us and sharing his history in the development of his fan game Mega Man Unlimited and the composition of the tracks that he worked on. Phil, where can we find you on the web, and do you have any upcoming projects that you want to promote?
Well, I have a website, megaphilx.com, where I post all my images and animations, and basically the game Mega Man Unlimited is there as well. I have also a demo for a little pet projects that I've been working on. And I also share images of the quote-unquote sequel that we discussed a little bit.
Right.
But megaphilx.com, and if you want to follow me day to day on some of my thoughts on video games and sketches of what I'm drawing and random stuff, MEGAPHILX on Twitter is the place to go. This is pretty much where I post everything I think about every day.
Let's be clear. It's like 75% shampoo pictures, and your shampoo art, and then like 25% Mega Man.
These days, well, it
which
varies.
I'm totally on board with.
It varies, but when I draw, when I sketch anything, we'll post it there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will retweet and share stuff about video games as well. So check out MEGAPHILX on Twitter is the most up-to-date coverage you can get. As far as other projects go, these days it's mostly I draw, I animate, feel very creative these days about drawing stuff. So and eventually I might go back to doing some Mega Man development stuff. I try to stream whenever I can. I'm also on YouTube, so sometimes I will stream drawing, animation, or game dev. We also have a page, Mega Man Unlimited Facebook page, so you can look for us there. Yeah, it's basically MEGAPHILX everywhere.
Yeah,
except
and that's
you know,
MEGAPHIL. That's Phil PHIL for the record, just to spell it out for everybody.
And another thing I take part not every week but often is the Snubsters. It's a group of hardcore gamers. We play a lot of Mega Man games and a lot of retro games as well, and we do like crazy challenges, such as beating Mega Man 3 with top spin only, for example.
That's awesome.
Or beating Mega Man 2 with the screen upside down, or Mega Man 4 with the Mega Man going like 10 times the speed.
Oh wow.
Crazy things like that. If you want to watch people race Mega Man games and ruin Mega Man games from themselves, you can watch us at snubster.com, and we have Snubsters on YouTube, and we do races and crazy challenges.
That's really cool.
Nice.
You'll find links to some of this stuff on our show notes, so be sure to check it out.
Yeah, but thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it was a real
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you for being here. This was great. So, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons, without whom this show's continued improvement would be impossible. They are Alex Messenger, Scott McElhone, Cam Worma, Chris Hart, Dan Lawton, Chris Murray, Kung Fu Carlito of the Heroes 3 podcast, Jordan and Anson Davis, Chris Myers, Llama Adam, Jeremy Rutz, Peter Panda, Ryan McPherson, Bedroth of the Very Good Music VGM podcast, Jason Super Jess Doss, Nick Davis, Matthew Hanola, Brad Austin, Muddle Madness, Mixmaster, and the Autistic Gamer 89. If you would like to become a patron, you can sign up at patreon.com/XVGM Radio. There you can see the different tiers as well. Just $1 gets you a thank you and access to our monthly live shows.
You can visit our website, xvgmradio.com, where you can listen to all the episodes and learn more about your hosts, as well as any of our guests or composers that we've had on the show.
If you'd like to reach out to us, you can always email us at xvgmradio@gmail.com.
And if you'd like what you've heard, please consider giving us a rating on iTunes and a review.
You can also join our Facebook group and chat with other VGM lovers at www.facebook.com/groups/XVGM Radio, where we talk about everything from current game news to sharing awesome VGM tracks, or just talking about the podcast itself.
And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle for both of those sites is @XVGM Radio.
If you don't have any other social media or just want to try something unique, check us out on our Discord group chat. Links will be in the show notes.
All right, so episode 55 is locked down, good to go. Before we teleport out of here with our new powers, episode 56 is coming up in 2 weeks. What are we covering on that episode of XVGM
So episode
Radio?
56 is going to be another sort of experiment. It's a new thing we're going to try. We're calling it Homework. And we have each picked some games for the other and sent them on a scavenger hunt to find music from that soundtrack. So I picked 5 games for Mike, he picked 5 games for me, and we're going to see what we come up with.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be a really cool look into our perspectives on video game music and sharing them with you guys. Either that, or it's going to be 2 hours of me torturing Justin and him torturing me right back.
There might be a little bit. No, there's a little bit of that. But overall, I think the things that I picked out for you are going to come out pretty interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Same for me. So, from XVGM Radio, this is Mike.
And Justin.
Signing off. So since the game is called Mega Man Super Fighting Robot, is it like Mega Man Super Fighting Robot? Yeah, I mean, it's one of the, like I said, it's my personal favorite Mega Man fan game, but... Man game. Man game. It's my favorite game.
I said fan game. I thought you said fan game.
Oh, it cut out the audio.
Man game. Man game.
Man game. It's my favorite man game. Yeah.
Was it Mega Man Legends 3 on the DS?
Or on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And they canceled Unlimited. Which was the or no, sorry.
I was like, they canceled Unlimited?
Yeah, they canceled your game, Phil.
First they stole your stuff from the
your art,
and then they canceled your game.
Whoops.